Hey cat lovers, and welcome back to the Purring Journal, where we discuss all things feline. Cats get up to all kinds of crazy antics, and some of their escapades are so hilarious that they end up in the news. That's why we thought it would be fun to share 10 of the most bizarre cat news headlines that you won't believe are true. If you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe to the channel for more cat news, behavior tips, facts, and more. Now let's turn on the news, or should I say, the muse? Number 1. Zombie cat. Buried kitty believed dead, meows back to life. In 2015, ABC News reported a truly bizarre story about a Frankenstein cat who came back to life after a horrible accident. The cat, a black and white boy named Bart from Tampa, Florida, was tragically discovered by his guardian, Ellis Hudson, in a pool of blood in the street after being hit by a car. Hudson was truly devastated to see his cat die at only 2 years of age, and in such a horrible manner. He even called a friend over to help him bury Bart, since he couldn't bear to do it himself. After confirming he was dead, Hudson's friend dug a hole, placed Bart in it, and buried him. And Hudson witnessed the whole thing. Shockingly, just 5 days later, Bart appeared in the yard of a nearby neighbor. He was in desperate need of medical attention as he appeared weak, injured, and dehydrated, but he was very much alive. The neighbor brought Bart home to an absolutely stunned Hudson, who couldn't believe his eyes. Hudson raced Bart to a nearby humane society where he was treated for facial wounds, including a broken jaw and a ruined eye. Amazingly, Bart pulled through his surgeries and was on the path to recovery. Hudson and neighbors are calling Bart's resurrection a miracle, as they claim that not only Hudson but several other neighbors confirmed that the cat was dead. The story is truly amazing and no one can quite explain it. But even though Bart seems to be living proof that cats have 9 lives, his guardians are making sure he stays away from the road from now on. Number 2. Burglar cat eats over $1,000 worth of seafood. In 2014, a hungry cat found his way into a fish store in the Vladivostok airport and helped himself to over $1,000 worth of seafood. And unfortunately for him, but hilariously for us, it was all caught on video. Workers at the store took evidence of this mischievous cat getting into all sorts of different merchandise in the store. Even more ridiculously, this cat seems to have a taste for the finer things. Rather than going for the cheaper fish like salmon or tuna, this cat helped himself to some of the nicer delicacies on the menu like squid, octopus, and flatfish. Because of his decadent taste, he racked up a bill worth more than $1,000. Authorities aren't sure how the cat was able to access the fish store, but it has been reported that he is a stray from an area who occasionally seeks out food or warmth in the airport. Officials also made sure to inform the public that the area was properly sanitized after the break-ins. Number 3. Police forced to break up raucous cat party. The Reykjavik Grapevine reported in 2012 that police in Suðurnes, the southern peninsular region of Iceland, got noise complaints about a party from neighbors. Police were surprised to learn that instead of an out-of-control high school house party, the party in question was a cat party where all the partygoers were cats. It is reported that residents around an unoccupied house noticed lots of cats were coming and going from an open window. Curious, they decided to report it to the police. Upon arrival, the police found no people but several cats inside the house. Apparently, the cats were innocently snuggling on the couch when the police arrived, but authorities broke up the party anyway. All the cats were forced to leave the property, and the police ensured the house was locked up behind them to prevent the cats from re-entering. So the citizens of Suðurnes can rest assured knowing that no nefarious cat parties are going on behind closed doors. Number 4. Woman says sorry to neighbors after realizing what cat keeps stealing. In a hilarious video, a cat guardian named Becca shared her cat's truly bizarre habits, stealing sponges from neighbors. The video of Becca's black and white cat coming home with a large yellow sponge in her mouth is truly hysterical, as she proudly shows off her prize. Becca wrote, "If anyone keeps losing sponges, sorry, it's probably my cat stealing them." Rather than a mouse or a bird like other cats, Becca's cat had a more unorthodox hobby of collecting loose sponges. The video, viewed more than 900,000 times on TikTok, has other cat guardians revealing their cat's strange habits in the comments, while some even saying that their cats love sponges too. So what is it about sponges that entices cats? We don't know, but it certainly is hilarious. Number 5. Dog saves owner's life after cat starts fire. In a story reported by NBC News, a dog in Greenville, Maine saved his guardian's life after a household cat accidentally started a fire. Thumper, a black Labrador retriever, sprang into action when a fire began to sweep through the family home in the middle of the night. He alerted his guardian, Roland Coate, by grabbing his arm to wake him up. Luckily, Coate was the only one in the house, as his wife and grandson were away at the time of the fire. Coate had just enough time to call 911 and get himself and his pets out of the fire, all thanks to Thumper's heroic actions. Later, after the firefighters got control of the blaze, the truth about the fire's origin came out. They learned that the fire was started by a tipped-over kerosene lantern, and it is believed that Princess, the family's cat, was the culprit. Luckily, she was able to escape the fire with only a singed tail. The story went viral, with many calling this a classic example of the differences between cats and dogs, though that might be going a bit hard on Princess. After all, it was just an accident. Number 6. Man uses his cat to map which neighbors have Wi-Fi networks he can easily hack. In 2014, security researcher Gene Bransfield spoke at the DEF CON Hacker Conference in Las Vegas, where he revealed that he had designed technology to allow him to hack into his neighbors' Wi-Fi networks through his cat. Bransfield's design, named the War Kitty Collar, is a device built from less than $100 worth of supplies that turned his ordinary cat into a super spy. The collar uses similar techniques to hackers in the 1980s, called war dialing, and more recent hacking attempts through war driving. The latter involves using an antenna to detect weak spots or susceptible Wi-Fi signals from your car as you cruise around the neighborhood. Bransfield's invention takes out the human element altogether, replacing it with a much less suspicious agent, his cat. He outfitted his beloved pet, a Siamese cat named Coco, with the War Kitty collar and sent her out to roam around the neighborhood. In just 3 hours, Coco had Bransfield found 23 Wi-Fi hotspots. Whether they were open or used outdated encryption algorithms, almost 1/3 of the hotspots were vulnerable to hacking. While Coco's spying was not used for any harm, but rather for Bransfield's entertainment, it did expose some security issues in the neighborhood. When presenting his research at DEF CON, Bransfield said it should be a lesson for those who take internet security for granted. After all, if a cat can get through your Wi-Fi security protocols, imagine who else can. Number 7. Cat piano videos are good for your health. A scientific study says so. A 2015 study conducted by Jessica Myrick, an assistant professor of media at Indiana University, sought to discover the link between watching cat videos online and human personality traits and behaviors. She surveyed nearly 7,000 internet users to explore the effects of internet cat consumption on emotional states. Myrick claims that the study proves that watching cat videos has a positive effect on mood, which the subjects of the study reporting that they felt happier and more energetic after watching cat videos. They also reported feeling less stressed and having fewer negative emotions after watching the videos. In particular, Myrick highlights the keyboard cat, a viral YouTube video of a cat playing a keyboard, as one of the most influential. If you ever watched a cat video, perhaps there's no surprising result. After all, there is nothing cuter or funnier than the internet's cats. So next time you think you're spending too much time watching cat videos, just remember, it's good for your health, and science says so. Number 8. Kitty see, kitty do. Cat imitates human behavior in first scientific demonstration of behavior. A dog trainer from Ikinomiya, Japan made headlines after reporting that she had trained one of her cats to imitate her behavior. Fumi Higaki was working with ethologist Claudia Fugaza on her study researching dog cognition. Higaki trained dogs to copy human behaviors through the instructions, "do as I do," followed by the command, "do it." Fugaza was shocked to learn that Higaki had not only used this method to train dogs, but had also trained his cat. The cat, an 11-year-old named Ebisu, was easily trainable, even sneaking into dog training sessions for her treats. Ebisu could copy actions like opening drawers and biting strings after seeing them demonstrated by a human. Fugaza tested the cat's ability by having her imitate 2 new behaviors, as Fugaza raised her right hand to touch a box and then bent down and rubbed her face against the box. To her amazement, Ebisu imitated the behavior on command 81% of the time over 16 trials. The research suggests that cats might have a higher cognition level than previously thought, as only certain mammals like dolphins, parrots, and apes can mimic human behavior. However, there is a lot more research to be done. Some scientists suspect that Ebisu's accomplishments don't demonstrate a true ability to mimic, but rather learned how to do the behavior through the repetitive training process. Either way, interesting research is being done to learn more. Number 9. Man with cat denied entry by Florida strip club. Arrested. In one of the most bizarre cat news headlines we've ever seen, a man from Florida was arrested in 2012 after trying to enter a strip club with his cat. Everett Legs attempted to enter a Murdoch, Florida strip club joint with his cat, and when they were both denied entry, he called the police multiple times. Deputies eventually made their way to the scene after calls from Legs kept coming into the station. According to the witnesses, Legs was visibly intoxicated and refused to comply with police. He was insisting that the club had committed a crime against him by refusing him and his cat entry. He kept trying to call the police on his phone even though they were already on the scene. Eventually, Legs was arrested and held on a $4,000 bond, while the cat was safely placed in the custody of animal control. Number 10. Adorable cat burglar named Culprit nabbed by police was just kidding around. In Fulton Township, Wisconsin, a cat went viral on Facebook after locals took pictures of him in the back of a police cruiser. The Humane Society in southern Wisconsin said that the cat's name is Culprit, and he was apprehended by the Rock County Sheriff's Office. His crime? Just being too adorable. In reality, the local authorities found Culprit wandering around outside, and they took him to a local shelter. On the way there, he got to ride in the cruiser where a passerby took a photo of him looking quite guilty. This was the picture that later went viral online. Fortunately, culprit had no tags or microchips, so it was assumed he was a stray. Luckily, a few months later, the Humane Society updated on Facebook that culprit had been claimed by his original guardians. He had been missing since the previous October, and his family was very grateful for the publicity stunt that led to their reunion. From coming back from the dead to breaking into shops, there are some truly strange cat news stories out there. Now we would love to hear from you. Which of these bizarre cat news stories were your favorite? Comment below. And if you enjoyed these stories, we invite you to check out one of these PAWSOME videos next, including one about hilarious cat news headlines you won't believe. We'll see you there, cat lovers.